Hey there, it's Redman. I wanted to go over my replays on my climb this month, from Platinum all the way to Diamond 1. My previous video was about me playing Layer of Darkness and Eldritch to get somewhere kinda in Plat, but I made a lot of misplays, and honestly, looking back at those replays, they were kind of not great because I made a lot of like pretty egregious errors. So might revisit that deck again at some point, maybe, but most likely not. Just because like I played it kind of not the most optimal way, but that's fine. But I stopped playing Layer Darkness Eldritch because I got really tired of losing constantly, and especially when I played the Labrynth. Like every time I played it against Labrynth as Layer Darkness Eldritch, I would just almost always lose. There was like almost never a scenario where I won that, and I slowly kind of just realized that Labrynth is just the better control deck just overall, and that I should play that and try to not play something kind of gimmicky like Layer Darkness. Like Layer Darkness stuff is kind of fun, but I think I definitely ran its course with how much I used it earlier this month and last month. But now I kind of want to, or earlier in the month, I wanted to just switch over to Labrynth, and I definitely feel like that was the right call because Labrynth is only going to get better. It's not even, there's still like, we're missing Lady, and we still would probably want to get Big Welcome. Big Welcome will come after Lady, I'm almost sure of it, because Big Welcome is coming out in Photon Hypernova, which is literally in like a week for the TCG, which is cool. But yeah, like Labrynth is literally only going to get better, and it's going to only get more support added to it over time. And it's actually a pretty viable rogue strategy, not just in Master Duel, but also in TCG as well. So I like that. It's relatively competitively viable without being like the unanimous, like top tier best deck in the game. And it plays a style that I really enjoy. So that's why I've been playing it a lot. So I might as well go through my replays here on my climb all the way up to Diamond 1. And then also, this past Sunday, or technically yesterday, I entered in the Dkayed meta weekly tournament and got top 8 with Labrynth. My same Labrynth deck that I hit Diamond 1 with, I got top 8 within that tournament, which I thought was really cool. So I wanted to go over those matches that were on Dkayed stream as well, because he has his own commentary, and I thought it would take some time to at least go over what he has to say, and probably learn some things too, because I didn't play as optimally as I probably could have, but I wanted to use it as a learning opportunity. So without further ado, let's get into the climb. So first off, in Plat 2, I play against this Branded Despia. Just seems like a pretty basic Branded Despia deck. They're playing Snow, singular copy of Snow, well, which I thought was interesting. They are playing 2 Allure of Darkness, which I think is pretty good. They are playing a Duster. Looks relatively standard. So let's see how that ended up going about. So I go ahead, reveal Lord, set 3. Yep, they get branded, then they allure, banish. I believe, oh, it was an Albaz that gets banished. And then our Rivalry. Rivalry does stop Branded Despia in particular, and I was running Rivalry at this time because Rivalry, I think I was still experimenting with a lot of Floodgates, and I wasn't sure which ones I wanted to keep and which ones I wanted to not keep. I think I was mostly following a deck profile that was just playing Rivalry, and it definitely worked really well against Branded Despia, but a lot of other matchups, it doesn't really do much of anything. And in fact, it hurts this deck because I have 3 Lords of the Heavenly Prison, and I typically do want it to be summoned out so I can set a card, not just for the 3k body, but like because of Rivalry, I can only have Fiends now on the field. So this Lord only protects and can't be summoned, which is kind of okay, but I don't know. I stopped playing Rivalry after a while because of that. So they fusion summon into Lubellion, which is a dragon, and then Lubellion's only going to be able to get out nothing because then I strike it. Or at least I attempt to strike it. This is probably a misplay. I don't think I realized that it could have like dodged the destruction effect and still resolved anyway. But he gets out Albion and then Albion into Alba Lenatus, which is because like the only good Despia, the good Despia fusions are like Chimera, which is a beast, Mirror Jade, which is a worm. So yes, Rivalry works against branded Despia pretty well. Yep, grab the welcome. That negated it just for the turn, but it kind of doesn't really do anything. So now they're locked into fairies, which they can get Quaratus out, I guess. They destroy that so that they can actually special summon something. Ah, yes, Priscinian. That's big enough to beat over Lovely, I suppose. But it's the end phase, so like, kind of don't care. Plus it's vulnerable to destruction. Grab the welcome again. Field spell, destroy. Activate all these effects, but then he snows to stop my Lovely. Oh wait, never mind. He couldn't, I couldn't. Oh, because snow has to, that's right, snow's effect does not happen in the special summon is the quick effect. The chain has to finish resolving before snow can activate its effect that it was special summoned to flip something face down. So I'm like, oh, I can just destroy you and put you back in the grave. So like, that was kind of a waste. Snow comes back out again, banishing the entire hand. And then Snow will then put Lovely down. And I'm like, okay, sure. And then I use this to destroy the face down. But problem is, so I try to destroy the face down, but I forgot that I had Lord revealed. This is how I can tell that Lord is revealed, by the way. I know in my previous video I said, Master Duel doesn't tell you how to determine which card's revealed. It's literally right here. It's this little symbol right here that tells you. So just look for that. I was just being an idiot and not realizing that. But yeah, like I should have popped something that wasn't set because Lord protects all set cards, including my opponents, and I kept not realizing that and probably being like, man, why isn't this destroyed? It's like, it's because of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. That's why. That was a clever called by to negate my one of the other Arianas on the field. Get another Lubellion out, and I'm just like, okay, bye, and destroy the back row. I think I sent Entis, right? It looks like I did. Well, maybe because there was nothing on the field. It's my guess. I don't know. Either way, this duel is like super duper over. Rivalry pretty much won me the game. I don't think there's anything like super special about that. Maybe just because it was nice to like see a demonstration of how Rivalry just kind of destroys Despia, but yeah, that was all right. The next one is a mirror, actually. This one was playing only 2 furnitures, a single lava golem, which I thought was actually pretty cool, 3 backjacks, 2 called bys, which I don't really think is very good in lab, a single dimensional barrier, 2 evenly matched, which can be okay. Ghastly glitch isn't very great because it requires a fiend. Only 1 terrors, I imagine, because it's an ultra rare and having 3 of them is quite expensive. But then like 2 judgment and 1 strike is also a weird ratio, and then anti-spell fragrance is like anti-spell fragrance while you play, like, I mean, I guess you can set called by, typically it's fine, but like, I don't know, this seems really conflicting. And then like this mutant card, I guess because it's high attack. No, I don't really, that's a lot of royals in the extra deck, actually. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's nearly as good of a lab deck, but this is a Labrynth Mirror. I think I was playing Eradicator at this point, but I don't remember exactly. So they go first. They get Ariana to grab. So they grabbed a furniture with Ariana, which I thought was like, I guess because they already had but like if you're playing furniture, I don't think you should grab another furniture. Like if you have Ariana, you grab welcome, or if you already have welcome, you maybe grab the field spell, but even 2 welcome is probably okay. So I don't know, like grabbing the furniture just doesn't make sense to me here. But I guess maybe he already had welcome and already had the field spell. So like one of these is definitely a welcome. I'm just like aware of that. So then he immediately flips anti-spell fragrance. I guess another reason to put the field spell on the field. I grabbed the field spell anyway, I guess, just because like, do I even out this anytime soon? I don't think I do. But I mean, I have a Dogmatica to like out it, so I think that's part of my strategy. So they backjack to get out Dogmatica punishment, which makes sense. They should have done they should have chain blocked Dogmatica and then into welcome, but I guess they can just do one thing at a time, or they could do that too. I mean, that works. Yep, destroyed the welcome in the hand, which actually kind of held me out, is funny enough. And so I destroy that back row specifically, but like, again, I make the misplay of trying to destroy a set card when Lord is revealed. It's just like, I should have just destroyed anti-spell fragrance or the field spell. Like, honestly, either of those would have been fine, but I just can't, you know, use situational awareness. So that was a big misplay on my part. I mean, even getting rid of Lovely would have been good, because then the set welcome wouldn't have been usable, because then he has no fiends on the field, and then, or destroy the field spell. I don't know, just not a set card. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to destroy the whole field to dodge the Dogmatica punishment. And then he torrential. I at least get to keep my pot of E. And I get skill drain. And another Lord. Get out Lovely. And then he skill drains me instead. I'm like, oh, snap. Okay. I see you. My Gozen's not going to do anything but help me get out Lord, yeah. I'm like, I just need, like, stuff on the field. Decide to grab a Compulse, I guess, because I think he's going to bring out Lovely from his graveyard using the field spell. Or, like, he's almost guaranteed to do that. I also set my field spell even though he might blow it up. And I don't have Lord in my hand anymore. But like, I'd get a compulse because I'm like, I feel like during my turn, he's gonna try to like get a lovely onto the field, and then I'm just gonna want to compulse it back to his hand, which is gonna be a not useful place. Which is exactly what he does. Destroys my lovely. Can't do anything there, and then I activate my field spell. He tears it, and then I'm just like, all right, well, I'll put that back into your hand. Gets out lovely again, or he gets out the other lovely because he has one in, he had one in the graveyard and he has one in hand, and I just put it back in the graveyard again. So this is a welcome that he cannot use because he does not have a fiend on the field, so he has to activate a normal trap that's not welcome. Yeah, he has to activate a normal trap, and he can't activate it yet. So now I get out Ariana. Again, under skill drain, can't do much. But I just am able to do enough damage to just finish them off here. Yeah, they didn't really play it all that well. I don't think they had Lord of the Heavenly. They didn't. So that was like another big thing about their profile. They're not playing Lord of the Heavenly Prison. And I think Lord of the Heavenly Prison is pretty important. So them not having that, but me having that, I think definitely like swung the match kind of in my favor. Neither of us also were playing Eradicator for some reason. I guess because we're not expecting to play the mirror that much, but yeah. All right, next one looks to be, it's branded Despia, but it's playing Nemesis Corridor, so it gets into Colossus. It's also playing Edo and Expulsion. It's doing the Expulsion nonsense, which is whatever, I guess. But yeah, it's a pretty all right Despia build. So that's what's next. Oh yeah, and he allures to get Despia and Tragedy, which is good. Like, that's like what you want to see. Gets out Lubellion. Gets out Mirror Jade. And gets the Expulsion. Because it's like, there's Edo. How did Edo get into the graveyard, you ask? I think it was used as fusion material. Yep, it was sent from the deck as fusion material from Branded Fusion. So then they do the Expulsion thing to give me Edo, so I can't summon anything, which is just kind of like, okay. Sure, I guess. I don't think I care. Not to mention I have Torrential Tribute, which will just wipe the field anyway and get rid of Edo, so I just, like, genuinely don't care. Albion into nothing, because I'm like, haha, I will skill drain you. And then he dodges it to get out Mirror Jade. Then he gets a whole bunch more stuff on the field, like Masquerade. And then I decide to Torrential, because again, I want this off the field. But this is skill drain, so it can't actually dodge anything. But Mirror Jade's effect is going to resolve in the graveyard. So I don't want to special summon something here for it to get destroyed. So I just don't use Welcome, and I just take damage to the face. And then now on my turn, I Welcome, and unfortunately it gets ashed, which sucks. Oh yeah, this was also a duel where I was experimenting with DD Crow, because especially because I was running into Despia so much, and like branded in red, like DD Crow, the branded in red target's kind of nice. I don't remember exactly all the reasons that I was playing DD Crow, but I was trying it out a little bit just to see, but I ended up cutting it because very easily it would just get called by'd. Way too frequently it was getting called by'd, and it's just like, all right, well, there's no point in playing this hand trap. Yep, now I put that back to hand, which is actually pretty decent. Get the welcome back onto the field. Use that on my turn. I mean, he gets to draw one, sure, whatever. And then I do a lot of damage. I got these big beat sticks on the field. Oh yeah, this gets out a Lubra, but a Lubra can't do anything. Snow can't do anything, but Snow will kill one of my Arianas. Kinda doesn't really matter. Yep, skill drain just simplifies the game state pretty dramatically here. Oh yeah, see, this was me attempting to use Crow to target, like, to get rid of Snow and then force the Snow to come out early. Because, like, they call by the Crow, and then I'm just like, all right, I'm going to Ice Dragon's Prison to specifically target Snow and force the Snow to come out. So I definitely get it to come out and make him use, like, all of his resources just to get Snow out on the field. Still can't do anything, and then he just, like, ends the duel himself. All right, next one. This one was interesting. This was Umi Control. I rarely ever ran into Umi Control, but this one was kind of a doozy to play around. I don't know if this is a well-built Umi Control deck, but it was something, so I thought this was pretty cool. Because it's like, ooh, it's control versus control, but it's Umi Control, which is quite a unique way to play control, but not as good as Labrynth, unfortunately. Especially considering I'm going first. They ash my extra, which is actually totally fine because I have duality. Yeah, I definitely grab Ariana here. And then the imperm, so they have two hand traps to, like, slow me down a bit, but, like, not completely stop me, because even this is a pretty solid combo. And then I'm going to add something back to hand. They have another ash. They had two ashes and an imperm. So, all right, final Lord, get to draw two. I have a second Ariana in hand. Lovely came in hand. Don't like to see it. Oh yeah, this thing that made my 0 attack. I'm like, all right, well. And it stays 0. It's not just for the turn. So now I'm in somewhat of a pickle. Also, so I remember this duel where I didn't realize that the problem card I needed to get rid of was Stealth until much later into the duel. Thankfully, it, like, didn't get too far to where it was unsalvageable, but, like, I should have realized that this is the problem card, not the Kashirin or whatever I just sent back to hand. So I grab the field spell. Yep, gets that out. That means now I have to send two things away, so I'm like, all right, I'll do that. He's gonna just do it again here, probably, or not. It's only during the battle phase that he can do it, so I'm like, okay, well. Again, he reduces it to 0 attack. Gets the Ice Jade Tremora. I remember Ice Jade Tremora being obnoxious. This was also when I was running 2 lovelies. And and it was definitely nice to have. This was kind of one of the few instances where having furniture proved to be somewhat advantageous, because I already went through all 3 of my Arianas and I already have 2 lovelies out on field. So I would not be able to use welcome if I didn't have furnitures. I was trying it this time, but I eventually decided I don't like them because they aren't very good for going second compared to Floodgates. And in the grind game, like, this is a situation where in the grind game it was helpful because now I had extra targets for Welcome Labrynth to be able to pop stuff using the field spell. But there was too many duels where, like, I already cycled through like all my welcomes and I already have stuff out on the field, so that when I had these like furnitures in hand, they just weren't doing anything. They were just basically useless unless I had a backjack, but even then really wasn't accomplishing a whole lot. So they just ended up kind of being dead cards in the grind game later on at times, and it's just like, yeah, that didn't feel very good, so I kind of dropped doing that. That thing gets back onto the field again. I know at least Stealth Attack is a card I definitely wanted to like destroy. Still have targets for Welcome. And it gets out the field spell. I can only keep 1 lovely, but I destroy that trap. And then that negates me. And it's like, uh-oh, this is starting to look kind of rough. So I at least get rid of that field spell, because that's what summons the tokens that are annoying. Then they crash the 2900 thing. I get to resolve Backjack, which is nice. Also, not only that, but I get to resolve Backjack while having evenly matched faces. It was like the actual, like, one of the few times where evenly matched was resolved past turn 2. Very, very funny. So he banishes the electric jellyfish, I guess, because he just wants a big thing on the field. Use Backjack to get Compulse, which makes sense, because then I get rid of the token, and then I destroy this and do a bunch of this. Yep, destroy the face down, which was another stealth attack, and then he just scoops. So, like, the resource, I, like, messed up for a bit, but yeah, like, the resource battle was kind of just in my favor for most of that. All right, so, next one, Floowandereeze. Ooh, and they're playing 3 shifters as well. That's pretty neat. They were also playing Salesban, which I found to be interesting. A singular evenly matched. Other than that, it seems like a pretty solid Floowandereeze build. Just a bunch of random crap in the extra deck, it seems, that they're never gonna actually summon into. But let's see how the Floowandereeze game goes. Oh yeah, I was running Ghastly Glitch at this time too, and I think I was experimenting with Terrors of the Overroot to see how it was. So again, here I was still kind of in the experimental phases of playing Labrynth, so I was kind of copying deck lists before playing my own. Getting even lead off the bat definitely kind of sucked, because it's like, oh, you know, I have Lord to protect my field, but it doesn't protect against evenly. So this is me. Sure, it's going first against Floowandereeze, but it's also me getting even lead, which is like devastating. It's like, oh crap. Now I really have a hard time playing around it. Like, the nice thing about having Lady Labrynth is that it can actually play around. You don't get, like, evenly matched doesn't hurt you nearly as badly if you have Lady in hand, which is pretty cool, and why, another reason kind of why I look forward to playing Lady. But like, yeah, getting these banished definitely like kind of sucked. I was also trying out Impermanence, just, you know, because I think that deck list I was using Impermanence and trying it out, because I was like, yeah, it's a normal trap, it's a hand trap, it can be useful, but ultimately I did end up cutting out Impermanence as well, because it just isn't impactful enough to warrant keeping it. Not to mention, it doesn't remove anything from the field, so you can't trigger off Labrynth effects using it. So I keep the most important card, which is Welcome. And then he tries to snipe it, but then he has a Ash anyway, and then it gets banished, so I can't even recycle it. So I'm just like, I don't have many options left. I'm like, this seems like a pretty lost game. And then they get their starter with Prosby, and it's like, oh boy, they're full-blown comboing. Floowandereeze is going off, and they get rid of my pot of E. It's like, oh, this does not look good. So pot of E only gets returned to my hand, so I can use it at least. They don't have map on field, which was kind of nice, but I don't have a whole lot that I can do here. So they're still kind of, I'm still kind of at the mercy of Floowandereeze here. Yeah, they get out M-Pen. And they get the quick play. They banish pot of E for, I don't know. Is there anything even useful? Yeah, there's nothing else in my graveyard, so it kind of like doesn't matter. I guess I was the only target. And then they do a bunch of damage to me. And they have another Ash for my Welcome. And I'm like, okay, fine. I will just use my Lord again. So, like, Lord of the Heavenly Prison is saving my ass here. And I go draw into another Lord. That's so funny. I was also playing Maxi. I guess Imperm, somewhat useful. I get rid of the Ryza, at least. Torrential is going to be doing the most work. And then I'm like, oh crap, Unexplored wins. I don't think he added... Yeah, no, he added the quick play spell with M-Pen, so he already had Unexplored wins in his hand. Yeah, I think I stopped a normal summon, but I didn't stop the original normal summon that he already had. But, like, I guess I destroyed the whole field with Torrential. Lots of chains. And then I get punishment, because I really want to get rid of Unexplored Winds. But he's not able to tribute anything, because I think both, yeah, M-Pen and Ryza are the two big things that he needs to tribute. I don't think any of the birds in his hand are big birds or anything that he can use to tribute summon something. And he doesn't have Apex Avian yet either, so he kind of can't do anything. So now I get rid of Rabina, which means I also get rid of Unexplored Winds, and then they're just they kind of lose from there because they don't have anything to tribute with, so it's just over. So that was me winning after getting evenly matched and having almost nothing, because I had 3 Lord of the Heavenly Prisons over the course of this duel, and that like saved my ass from like dying. It was just like, wow, it was incredible. So glad I saved that one, because that one was just crazy to me. So next one, Swordsoul Tenyi. Nice, here's a classic one. Now this one's interesting because they play 2 red reboot. That's like the only like real distinction that is like, oh, okay, this is kind of spicy. So I wanted to take a look at this one. Yep. So I think this is when I was starting to play a single backjack, maybe. And it's kind of nice to have backjack. I like playing one backjack because if you only have backjack in your opening hand, you can just normal him and then link him off with Linkuriboh, activate his effect, and then Linkuriboh is kind of like a little like bonus effect, I suppose. You could also do Almirage, though. Almirage only protects monsters that you already have on the field, which doesn't really come up as much as like Linkuriboh's effect does. But I mean, I don't know. Linkuriboh's effect also kind of hardly ever really gets to resolve. It doesn't really matter. What matters is being able to get Backjack in the grave to be able to stack my deck and put a trap on the field. Because I think Backjack's really cool like that. Like I think Backjack is literally like one of my favorite cards to play, thanks to like Labrynth. I remember first seeing Backjack playing on my Switch because I actually pulled a Royal Backjack long before I even like I think this was before Labrynth was even revealed first in the OCG at all. And I'm like, well, Backjack seems to only be played in like Burning Abyss or something like that, and that's only like certain Burning Abyss builds in the first place. So I'm like, well, I don't see a use for this card, but I guess I'll keep it around because maybe it'll be used for something. And lo and behold, who knew that months and months later that I'd be like actually main decking Backjack, because it's actually pretty fun to play in a trap based deck, especially one that plays a lot of normal traps. Because I couldn't play this in Eldritch really, because you play so many Floodgates and so many continuous trap effects that Backjack wouldn't have been good. But in Labrynth specifically, because it plays so many normal traps, it like fits right in, I think. So yeah, that's why I play like a single Backjack. I even have back for protection with Judgment, so I'm like, all right, it's Swordsoul Tenyi, so I know what to do. I'm gonna wait for them to get out. What is it? So they get out Shishao, search Blackout, and they add Vishuda, and they do Taya to get another level 8 Synchro, which is Omega. For some reason, they go into Omega, and then they get Longwan out, and then now they get Longwan. So this was great. So it's like they do all this extension and they get out Longwan. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna destroy the field now. But then they have Red Reboot, and they're like, cause like, oh, I can finally use this Red Reboot to just win me the game. And I say no. I say Solemn Judgment, baby. The only thing that stops Red Reboot, and I was really glad because I think this was one of the first duels that I was actually playing Solemn Judgment, and it was really hyped to be able to resolve this against a Red Reboot, because I've been Red Rebooted before and you just lose the duel every time that happens. So stopping it was huge, and they promptly scooped after their whole board got wiped. So yeah, that was just icing on the cake. I pretty much main deck Judgment after that. I don't know why I keep saying main deck like there's a side deck in Master Duel, but I definitely put in Judgment as like a staple pretty much after that. All right, next one is Predaplant Despia. So this one was interesting as well. Have a nice royal branded fusion. So Predaplant Despia, let's see. Yes, I start with a Backjack, and this is now where I start playing Full Force Virus. And I'm going second. So they do a bunch of Predaplant things, as, you know, they even grab Predaplanting, which I thought was kind of interesting. Don't they typically want to... So this is what grabs... Because I'm like, oh, they want to grab Branded Fusion, and looking... Hey, there we go. They grabbed Branded Fusion. So they get out Albion. And then now they get out Mirror Jade. Oh boy. And then they get to Fusion Summon again to get a Dragostapelia. And set 3 back row. And get another Brandon for next turn. It's like, holy crap. Alrighty then. So he's just going to instantly use Mirror Jade on my Backjack to just not even give it a chance to do anything. Which I guess is fine. Because, like, the Backjack wasn't going to be able to do anything anyway. I should have probably maybe kept it in my hand. But it's like, I guess I wasn't thinking that he was going to use Mirror Jade, because maybe he was thinking that it wasn't going to be useful, but like maybe he just took no chances. I'm not so sure, but I guess I let it rip anyway, because maybe it just didn't matter. But in hindsight, I could have probably held on to the Backjack. put everything down. Don't put on the field spell because obviously I can't do anything with it. Send Mirror Jade back to the extra deck, which is the best way to out it. So only take 27. Now I put the field spell on because I have a welcome. I just fired this off in the very beginning. And then I also, so I get out Ariana, activate her effect, and then tribute her with full force so that I get to guaranteed get Ariana's effect, and I destroy just any Luber in his hand, as well as destroying all the Predaplant stuff. So this sent Triantis, which I think would have been a good scale, maybe. There's 2 of these, and I think this is annoying too because this like places counters. Yeah, it places counters on the field. Oh no, wait, that's the on-field effect. Oh yeah, you can use the cards in your pendulum zone as material. That, which kind of isn't that big of a deal, but it like gets rid of a lot of his plays because it gets rid of like his Predaplant monsters in hand. Also, it kills a Luber. Also, it kills Fallen Valbaz. So then I get another welcome. Bring back out Ariana. Then they branded into an Albion. And then I just saw him strike that. Because I'm like, nah, I'm not letting you do anything. And they get a... They summon back to Dkayed Despia to get rid of Ariana. I'm like, ow, okay. They branded in red. So I feel like this Gozen's just like, man, this Gozen's just doing nothing, huh? Unfortunately. But I top deck a Lord of the Heavenly Prison, and then I'm like, great, they top decked an Ash. Wonderful. So of course I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, all right, well at least I have Lord, so I can get this to protect me, get a draw 2. That doesn't do anything. Greedy Fusion, just so he can get something big enough to be able to beat over the Lord of the Heavenly Prison. So I'm like, oh crap. I don't have a whole lot I can do. But then I get a punishment, and punishment's nice because I have what in my, yeah, I have still Leap, so I can get rid of it through punishment. I think I grabbed Tears here. Yeah, I grabbed Tears. Because I'm like, they don't have back row removal. And the Fusion Substitute I don't think really does as much of anything here. And then I stop. I think I also get Tears because I know they have branded in red, and Tears like just totally counters branded in red. So does nothing. Welcome gets to be put back on the field, but then I destroy the only thing they have left up on the field, and then Entis is just going to destroy, I think, the Pendulum Scale. So then they couldn't even Fusion Summon after that, and I think they just have no more plays, and they're all out of resources. So that duel is pretty much over at that point. Next, looking at another Floowandereeze. All right, they're playing Gold Sarcophagus as well. Another evenly matched too. The single evenly matched, but it is again a Floowandereeze. I think this is one of the last duels that I played before getting into Diamond 1. So yeah. So they're going first. Yeah, they grab Pot of E, but they can't do anything. So it's like, wow, did you brick or something? Seems kind of wild to me. So I get my own Pot of E into Duality. Grab Trap Trick. Because I realized that they had... Actually, this is... I think what's really funny is it didn't occur. Well, I don't know why. What do they reveal off the? Oh, I didn't get to see what they banished. Yeah, they like showed that they had Book of Moon. So I'm like, it's clearly Floowandereeze, but I didn't. Oh, I couldn't put. Okay, so I can't. Unfortunately, Full Force and Trap Trick doesn't do it because Trap Trick would get a welcome, and then I'd be able to summon do the welcome to get Ariana out, but then I be locked out of being able to activate traps for the rest of the turn. So I'm like, all right, I'll just hold on to this trap trick for later and just hope I can stall for at least a turn. And because I use duality, Backjack's not going to do anything, but I still summon it because I have Torrential Tribute up. So it'll just get destroyed and I'll be able to activate its effect. So then they pot a E into pot a D. I think they finally get, oh, so they get Advent. And I have the map in hand, so they can get what they need. I guess I just I probably should have waited to torrential until they got like at least 2 birds on the field. That would have probably been good instead of just firing it off like immediately. But I mean, I have a second one, so I guess it's not the worst thing. But yeah, I could have played that a little better. So they get Rabina, and then I get to stack my deck using Backjack. They get rid of Torrential or whatever. I get out Terrors. And I use that to get rid of M-Pen. Even though M-Pen's effect resolves, I still don't want it on the field. I don't actually know exactly if that's like the best call. I don't really think I care to get rid of the field spell because I can dodge having to normal summon. And I'm just like, I just don't want M-Pen. I don't really want them to deal damage. Honestly, I probably could have just held on to the Terrors as well, potentially, but I don't know. I have so much stuff to like just stop Floowandereeze at least for a turn. And then they can't do anything else. I think they ran out of birds or something, but then now I just normal summon Ariana. User effect, I don't even care that I'm triggering map here because I'm just gonna do full force and then that just destroys all their birds in hand. Everything's going to die, and not only that, because nothing's on the field, nothing gets banished. All of the Floowandereeze birds go to the graveyard where they stay dead and they don't come back. So he like had no way to win from there. So full force just single-handedly like won me this duel, like pretty much just straight up. Full force virus is just such an underrated card because it hits so many decks and like especially Floowandereeze. So yeah, pretty much won me this duel. And then I have one more for my diamond climb. And that would be, I think, also Predaplant Despia, but it's a 60 card variant, which is also interesting. So I start off with an Albion. And then what was this? Stay Sailor Romarin. Pretty interesting. I guess it does kind of synergize with Predaplant stuff. Helps get on a Mirror Jade. And I set a scale, set something face down. It was interesting. And I'm just like, all right, I'll set 5. I have a Lovely in hand, LOL. Destroy the field because they summoned something, which I thought was hilarious. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna now Iron Wall so that you can't fusion summon anything that requires you to banish to fusion summon. So they'll just pen summon like 2 things, and it's just kind of like, okay, sure. And then they'll get this guy out, I guess. Give him a counter. Add Predapractice. Sure. Okay. Do another Lubellion, but Lubellion can't do a whole lot? Or maybe it can. Oh. Oh, yeah, I guess this freaking random Predaplant creature on the field. It's like, okay. And then I get Ariana onto the field. Grab the field spell. Because I kind of want that. I think. I don't have any normal traps left, so I'm not sure why. Then I just top deck a welcome anyway. That's really funny. They flip that up and they get out Chimera. And I'm just like, okay, that's cool, I guess. I'll just destroy the Chimera. Could they like... I don't think Chimera was able to like use its effect or something. I found that like kind of interesting. Yeah, it doesn't banish anything, so I don't know why its effect wasn't able to activate. It's kind of strange to me. I just grab another field spell because I guess I assume this one's probably gonna get destroyed, maybe? Get another branded fusion. They fuse these three off to get Triptoverium. Trifeovertum. Overtum? I don't know. Whatever. Trifeovertum? Whatever. Grab Branded Red, even though the Branded Red won't be able to fuse because of Imperial Iron Wall. So I just activate Lord, pass. So then I welcome destroying that guy because he's vulnerable. I just chain so that the Aluber doesn't do anything, really. That's cool and all, but you can't fuse. Try to get a Masquerade out. And then an Albion. And then he just like, I just don't have anything left. Because again, he needs to banish. Like the Imperial Iron Wall like really stopped him being able to do much of anything. So definitely got him kind of screwed there. So yep, that was a lot of the duels that I played, getting all the way up to Diamond 1. The next part is, so after I hit Diamond 1, I decided to start entering the Dkayed meta weeklies. And in the first one that I entered, which was last Sunday, not the one that was yesterday, I unfortunately lost round 1 in a single elimination tournament to Invoked Dogmatica that played a lot of Lightning Storm and Cosmic Cyclone, and I wasn't, even with me trying to play around Lightning Storm, I still ended up getting Lightning Stormed, very unfortunately, and yeah, it was rough. Not drawing into a Lord turn 1 and just, you know, getting dusted or getting Lightning Stormed definitely kind of sucked. I didn't get my Judgment, I didn't get a Lord of the Heavenly Prison or anything, so I lost pretty much immediately to Invoke Dogmatica. But then yesterday when I entered the DMC Meta Weekly 50, I got pretty far. I got to top 8, which was kind of unexpected. I didn't expect to get that far, especially considering last week. So it was really cool that I made it that far. And one of the last replays that I have here was from the very first match, which did not get on stream. But I wanted to save it because it was just kind of out of nowhere, and I wasn't expecting to play against this kind of deck. But boy, was it quite interesting. And if I show you the profile here, it is Cauldron of the Old Man Burn, where they also played Final Countdown. I never saw this, but like basically they just play a buttload of Floodgates, like Fire Prison, Messenger of Peace, how they even played Judgment to try to stop stuff, as well as Dark Bribe to try to stop stuff, and then, you know, Rivalry, Skill Drain, and Tikaboo in order to like stop it. And it basically, it's just to lock you down, to keep gaining counters on Cauldron of the Old Man, to eventually just, you know, burn you out. And I was like, oh great, so they don't summon a damn thing. So this one just was just like, oh great, this is like nerve-wracking for me. Oh boy. So it starts off with me going first. Seems kind of innocent, and I'm like, okay, you know, I got a pretty solid opening hand. Welcome, you know, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I think I'm ready to go. And then, like, I don't realize what's happening until, like, this happens, and it's like, oh, great. They've got all this stuff on the field, and then they flip Tikaboo, so I'm like, oh, great. Now I can't even get Lord of the Heavenly Prison on the field. And Rivalry locks me as well. So it's like, oh, great. So use Magical Mallet to do that. And so now they have 4 Floodgates on at the same time. And it's just like, oh, Christ. This is really, really annoying. And I have like 2 useless trap cards that are never gonna do anything, and I can't get rid of them, as well as Solemn Strike. So and then Iron Wall also isn't really going to do anything. So it's just like, oh crap, I like only have Welcome, and I'm like stuck. So I kind of just have to keep passing until I can do something. So meanwhile, he's gaining all these counters and gaining life points. And then eventually he's going to start burning me. And I'm like, oh, great. I can't even play this duality because all my slots are filled. Use another Magical Mallet. Gets out Cosmic Cyclone. I think he does use the Cyclone here soon. I still just cannot do anything. Gets rid of the Iron Wall, which is good because now it frees up a spot. Then he starts burning me. I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can start drawing cards. And then he draws a card with Jar of Avarice, which is like, okay, I guess. He gets to shuffle his stuff back in. And I'm like, I need something... Like, what I need more than anything, I guess I get another Lord because, like, I just need to, like, search cards specifically that, like, out Floodgates or destroy things or whatever. But, like, thankfully I get a Tears of the Overroot from, I believe... what was it? Yeah, I draw it off of the Extravagance. Which is the key card. Tears of the Overroot is the key card to outing this board because this can do any card that they control. So it's like, okay, cool. I have a way to start playing the game now, thankfully. But now they're starting to burn me more periodically. It's like, oh crap. So the first Floodgate that I decided to get rid of is Rivalry, because I need to be able to summon at least Lord of the Heavenly Prison, and Rivalry prevents me from doing that. So I know I have to get rid of that, and I get out Lord like ASAP. Like, I'm not even fucking trying to mess around with that. And then I grab a Tears, because like Tears is just like part of my win condition. Like, the more Tears I have, the better. So I use this to get now rid of Tikaboo. And I put down Rivalry again because he's not going to be able to activate it until his turn. And I'm kind of okay with this because like, I didn't have any other options. I get rid of Tikaboo to put down Rivalry. So that's like my only thing I can do. But at least now I can use Welcome to destroy something else on the field. So I decide to destroy specifically Messenger of Peace because I want to be able to attack. And then I try to get Lord in the Heavenly Prison, but then I go into battle phase thinking that I can attack, but I didn't read Fire Prison saying that you cannot battle or you cannot attack with any monster unless they have a link rating or unless they are a link monster. So it's like, oh, great. Another Floodgate that prevents me from attacking that I didn't think about. Cool. I'll just get Tears. I know I'm not going to lose any Fiends. He flips Rivalry, and that's fine. I'll just keep my Fiends on the field. Because that's, you know... I'm fine with Rivalry now at this point because I think Tears of the Lord's done the work. The Lord's work has been done, and now Tears is just like going to continue helping me win the game. They have a Solemn Strike though, and that comes into play a little later. So I now get another Extravagance into another Duality. And I grab a Welcome because I just, again, want to try to blow up their field. Now I out the Fire Prison, giving them a draw. And then this gets destroyed, unfortunately, but it's fine. I guess I'll just attack. I just need to activate any normal trap and I get the Lovely back. So then I destroy his win condition card so I don't lose any more life points. Shuffles all those back, which does kind of, unfortunately, play around Tears, because Tears needs to have something in the graveyard to activate, but he's gonna just put, like, even him putting the jar back in there is, like, fine. Solemn Judgment will stop that, and they set this Dark Bribe, so the Dark Bribe cannot stop my Solemn Judgment yet. So I was really contemplating destroying that Fire Prison, because I'm like, man, it's a Floodgate, and I really feel like I should destroy it now and just like sack half my life points to do it. And definitely, in hindsight, because of this Dark Bribe, that was definitely like a really good call. I put down this Trap Trick because I thought I was going to be able to use this Welcome Labrynth, but I actually had no more targets for it because I have all 3 Arianas on the field and I have my Lovely in the graveyard. So that was a misplay. I should have only set Trap Trick, and then I should have used Trap Trick to get out Lovely back onto the field, but not able to do that, so it's like, oh crap. But then he only gains 500 life points, which is not enough to stop the Arianas. Tries to do something here that just doesn't matter, so I end up winning that one. So yeah, that was like a, oh crap, I might actually lose to this awful deck. But Terrors of the Overroot was the savior, because I think if I didn't have Terrors of the Overroot, I don't know what the hell I would have done to win. Like, absolutely don't know. But I probably would have still won the best of 3 because they need to have enough Floodgates to stop me. And that happening consistently across the best of 3 is very unlikely, so yeah, but I'm glad I won that one. And then game 2, they went first, but they only got like 1 Floodgate. I was able to easily out it, and then just like the duel was just kind of over from there, so I didn't feel like saving the replay in that regard. Now I'm gonna look at the replays from Dkayed's stream to determine what his thoughts were on me playing, and like obviously any misplays that I did, because I know I definitely missed timing on a Torrential Tribute play when I play Adamancipator later, but I wanted to at least like see what his thoughts were and also like read chat, because I think it was really funny like to kind of see on the side that like chat hated like all the Floodgates I was playing, even though I only played 5 Floodgate cards. It was just funny. Oh yeah, so while he's talking, he's like, I use full force to kind of just like stop him from being able to do much of it. I use it literally the beginning of his turn, and does he yeah, he can't even get Block Dragon out. Like, I see he has Block Dragon and Triple Tactics talent, so it's like, okay, cool. I think this is like a one duel. As long as I keep Block Dragon in his hand and don't put it in the graveyard, like I pretty much just win that. Yeah, so he's able to actually get out Block Dragon, and I'm just like, nah, dude, put that back in your hand.
Restore window, right? Restore window.
I could have probably used Lord to get
Wait, my Chrome's lagging. Am I crashing?
Imperial Iron Wall, but I didn't.
3, 4 tabs, restore window. Close this. My computer is.
But I get a Pot of E instead.
Are we good on Discord now?
Yeah, and then he just can't do anything else, so he just scoops. It makes sense.
Let's go. Good job, Red Man.
Yeah, thanks, Dkayed. Appreciate it.
Red Man versus TFG Big Hand. We're hopping into duel number 2. Need the other lab lady. TCG is just getting her. Gia, what is going on?
What do you mean just getting her? Lady's been in the TCG for like a bit now.
All right, perfect.
It's whatever. Oh yeah, so then they're going first. So this is where I make the misplay. This is where I make the misplay.
The new Labrynth that's coming is nuts. The new Labrynth support. This is a good deck to potentially invest in for down the line being good. Big Welcome Labrynth and Lady Labrynth. While you control a set card, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Actually relevant. Also cannot be destroyed by card effects. And then the effects are, if a Labrynth card or effect or a normal trap was activated, you could special summon this card from the hand in defense. 2900 defense. And then when a normal trap card is activated, you could set a normal trap with a different name directly from your deck. That's including your opponent's. So set
Lady's
normal trap from the
busted.
deck, potentially every turn. Maybe not the first turn, but then beyond that, every turn. And then very easily summonable. And then what makes the Labrynth deck even better is the big Welcome Labrynth. Summon a Labrynth monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, then return one monster you control to the hand, which could be resummoned with the field spell. You could banish this card from the graveyard, then target one fiend you control, or if you control a level 8 or higher fiend, you could target any card your opponent controls instead, return it to the hand. Pitch is here. What the? I thought Auroradon combos are gone. They're back. Welcome to
Auroradon. No Auroradon here.
Searching for the Collider. Corridor, that is. Nemesis Corridor is going to be returning a banished monster back in the deck to then summon Thunder Dragon Colossus. We have Omni Negate, Triple Monster Negate, but Block Dragon's limited to 1, so it's okay, right? We're gonna use
even Block Dragon being at 1 is like, ugh.
Anything, any rock. We got Researcher and the Raptite into the Boardload Savage Dragon. We have another negate, another disruption on the field. Corridor's gonna make it illegal to search your deck. No searching. Are we not done yet? All right. The Union Carrier is banned. In today's tournament, new ban list, banned. Triple Monster Negate, Masquerena gonna go into Unicorn, spinning back the Ariana, triggering the Block Dragon, and be gone, Ariana. Also making sure to Chainlink block an Ash Blossom. The Block Dragon will not be negated. Cannot search, negate, triple negates. Now, what we need to do.
All right,
is
here.
We need to activate a trap, they negate. Activate another trap, they negate. Then we flip up the skill drain and the whole field gets negated. That's what we not need.
I have to hope that they summon, though.
So on summon, torrential, Dogmatica Punishment, skill drain. Let's go. We got this. Oh, that's like kind of early. No? Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Just sure. Okay, we'll see if we can get it up early now. We'll see if we can do it now. Nope, did not take the bait. But you missed the timing on your own torrential. No!
Oh, no.
You need a Chainlink 1, Welcome Labrynth. Chainlink 2, Dogmatica Punishment. He missed the timing on his own torrential.
Oh, so that's what it is. I have to Chainlink 1 Dogmatica into Chainlink. Or no. What I did is Chainlink 1 Dogmatica, Chainlink 2 Labrynth, but I should have done Chainlink Labrynth into Dogmatica, because that makes sense, because the chain goes backwards. So the last thing that actually happens is the activation of punishment. Oh wow, so I actually could have just played it right. I guess I just like, I don't know. I guess if it didn't matter. So like, if he was gonna negate the welcome, then he was gonna negate the welcome. You know, like it didn't really matter whether I like do it immediately or do it not at all. But like, okay, so now I understand at least why Torrential missed timing here. It's because the last effect to activate in the chain is the Dogmatica Punishment, not the welcome, not the special summon. So that's why Torrential can't do anything. It's like, oh, I'm sad. So I guess, yeah, no, literally the first thing that should have been done was welcome. Like, that was the only play. Literally just like welcome off the bat. So, damn. Well, now I know. Now I know if I run into this kind of situation where I have a torrential and welcome and skill drain against a ridiculous board turn going second, that I can technically out it. I just have to make sure that I start with welcome Labrynth and not something else. So that makes a lot of sense.
Now he has to hope the opponent summons, and if he goes into access code talker, it's not going to work. Oh, you actually had this.
Yeah. Oh well.
I think you would have won, right?
Probably, yeah.
Chainlink won. If they negate, then you have Dogmatic Punishment. Oh, damn. So people ask, oh, Dkayed, what's up with missing the timing? Well, Torrential Tribute misses the timing.
Yeah.
Monsters summon, destroy all cards on the field. All monsters.
I didn't know how, but now I know how.
It has to be the summon. And if you're doing multiple chain links, the last thing that happens is going to be chain link 1. So make sure to summon on chain link 1 to play into Torrential. But if you want to play around Torrential, you summon on chain link 2 or higher.
I could have also just, I don't know, waited for the chain to resolve. I should have just started with welcome. There's no reason to not start with welcome, because if it gets negated, then like you're probably still gonna lose. I don't know, man. The fact that he did not negate the welcome though is like, do people really want to not negate the welcome there? I feel like that's like my only way to win. I don't know. Whatever. At least now I know. Now I know that that's how it missed timing. Okay, that makes sense.
That would have been interesting. That would have been really interesting.
But I win the match anyway. Yeah, I probably could have won.
Would have been popping, yeah.
Yeah.
Double torrential skill drain. Mom still hasn't given the child support. Dirt cheap at the 37 months, thank you. Back from Fortnite attrition. Welcome back. What's Fortnite up to? Full Force Virus will make it so you destroy all monsters with 1500 or less defense.
Yeah, so like drawing
entire hand.
Full virus is like,
wait, researcher's thick. What the heck?
Yeah, researcher's the only one that doesn't die.
Backjack gonna do the top card of the deck, that is to set it. Goes in match, locking you into a single attribute, triggering the Lord of Heavenly Prison to come forth and summon onto the fields. And then we could Full Force Virus. Full Force Virus, looking at the entire hand, wiping out
let's see the Cyclone and the Triple
corridor,
Tactics talent.
And it's going to do so for the next 3 turns. The Thick Searcher is going to be doing top 5 cards.
Deck is solitaire. That is true.
Tribute, wiping out everything.
You can trash talk a deck but not a player. It's not nice. That is true, yeah.
We did search for that pot of E, gaining easy +1. It's like a +2. You got it off of the Lord of Heavenly Prison. Let's go, let's go. Overroot could send any card in the field to the graveyard, revealing the supplier at 1600 defense, just enough to not get destroyed. Trap Trick in the end phase, setting a Welcome Labrynth. Yeah, their extra deck is mostly not Earth, but, you know, they can still make some plays under goes in. Not as good, though. Lovely Labrynth is here, recycling traps from the graveyard. I feel like because Floodgates exist, Konami will not support a trap deck to be good enough without the Floodgates, because then with the Floodgates, they become too broken. So if they were to instead just completely eradicate all these trash Floodgates and then just give a trap deck the full support it deserves.
Give us good cards that help us win going second. That's all we ask for. That's why we play Floodgates. We need good cards going second.
Overroot sending the supplier to set the corridor. What the? Okay. That's going to be triggering our cards because you lost a monster. We're now going to be popping a card on the hand, fields. We're going to draw a card. We're going to reset the Welcome Labrynth. I love it. We come in, getting rid of the Triple Tactics talent, and that's it. The Full Force Virus is no longer in effect. Redman's got this duel big time. We are going in lethal damage with the lovely Labrynth. Yes.
Yes.
What was that question? So what would this deck need to ever be able to handle going versus a deck like a Shizu tier? I think for a trap deck to be good, many of the monsters would have to make it so you could activate your trap the turn they're summoned. I think if Floodgates didn't exist, maybe the lovely Labrynth normal summons would say on summon search. Also, you could use one trap the turn it was set after the summon. And that would be something crazy.
Maybe
that would make a trap deck nuts. But, you know, Floodgates exist, so you probably can't make them that good.
I have a feeling that, like, because of Coup Clock, like, I think there's something you can do with, like, Lady and Coup Clock where you're, like, if you're going second, you can get Lady out, search a trap with her, and then activate that trap on summon, like, maybe Torrential or something, and that can maybe help break boards, but... like, I definitely think Strike will still be, like, a staple, but it's really hard to, like, I can probably see removing Gozen at some point, but I really have a hard time seeing removing Skill Drain. Like, Skill Drain is just so incredibly important for going second when your opponent has an entire board of, like, Omni Negates. Like, they're all monsters on the field, so if you get the Skill Drain to go through with a Strike combo, like, you just win, because, like, they don't have, all the stuff on the field becomes negated, and then you can just, like, slowly pick away at their resources because your forms of removal are through trap cards, which a lot of decks don't have, like, direct counters to or, like, negations to, unless they, like, have monsters on the field. Like Skill Drain is just so important for going second, and it helps dramatically. So until there's something that's, like, as good, if not better than Skill Drain that replaces that, for Labrynth or even Control decks, then, like, Skill Drain's probably just gonna, like, still be a staple, straight up. And then, like, the other Floodgates are almost always going to be, like, dependent on what's, like, meta, so, like, that changes around here and there, but Skill Drain almost always is just going to be played. So it'd be really nice if Labrynth had a card or effect or something that, like, made it very, very viable going second, that, like, essentially replaces Skill Drain's effect. But, like, I don't know when the hell that's gonna happen. Who knows? But in the meantime, we're gonna keep using Floodgates to help us go second. That's as simple as that.
Good job with the 2-1 victory. The clock allows you to kind of do that, but you know, I'm talking about in a more viable way. Redman. Let's watch Redman. Gia, we have a top 16 room soon? Or is there another duel room? Okay, you gave me another room. Oh, okay.
Something top 32 for Numeron's not bad. Really?
Okay.
I mean, okay.
Red Man with the Labrynth cards. Big Labrynth support are coming soonish.
Hopefully, Copium.
Parallel Exceed into Parallel Exceed. Love your content. Thank you, GATV. Love your support. Alan Burkett search in. And we are going to be popping off with Circular. We already used up our normal summon. We are sending the Sigma, special summon, using the Allenbert, taking out the Almirage, special summon Diameter, triggering the Circular, grabbing Super Factorial for the next turn, negate and send. Can Labrynth go second against full combo Mathmech? Probably
yes.
Not.
No, yes. The answer is yes.
Shokan into the
absolutely.
He told draw a card every single turn. And now what? Ash is going to be good against the Welcome Labrynth. Call of the Grave not so good right now. We are going to be able to Super Factorial. He's doing it within the main phase. So what he's doing here is he does not want to give him time to set any more cards. He wants to guaranteed hit a card from the hand and the back row. Yep. Maybe waited for another set, possibly. But
yeah, but, like, I knew that. Maybe. Like, I knew that he was going to try to, like, snipe something from hand. So, like, I was planning on only setting one more card anyway. But actually, if anything, it was fine that he did it here because I'm like, you know, he has a pretty low, only a 33% chance that Lord's going to get sniped out of the hand.
If he wants to hit a non-Lord Heavenly Prison, Laplation. Send the back row, send the
yeah, so he gets terrors, so they overroot.
We got Gozen match with 2 different attributes in the field right now. Locking him into Earth or Fire. Going to chain Heat Soul, draw a card, probably getting rid of the Heat Soul. I mean, playing off of Earth. Can he play off of Earth? He can keep the Heat Soul, actually. Keep Heat Soul locked into Fire. We have Addition. We could boost up with Addition. Imperial Iron Wall. Banishing is now legal.
Or
Special
illegal,
summon,
whatever.
block off the Heat Soul. Heat Soul would have been boosted by the Addition. Why didn't we add on to the Heat Soul? Skill Drain is not going to get banished during the end phase of the next turn. The Lord of Heavenly Prison is supposed to be self-balancing by the card you search being banished in the end phase, but the Imperial Iron Wall allows you to search for a card like freaking Skill Drain. Negate the Heat Soul. Impermanence.
Yeah, that impermanence was smart. Works. That was smart imperm.
Get rid of your Lord of Heavenly Prison, then the impermanence will not negate the skill drain. We have nothing to stop it. If we had a compulsory evacuation device, that could have worked. Oh boy. The rare instance of skill drain being negated. If skill drain's already active, you cannot even activate impermanence. And if you change skill drain to impermanence, then the impermanence does not negate the monster, thus it does not negate the column. Into a torrential tribute. Wait. Did Lord protect that set monster?
Yes, it did.
Set cards on the field could not be destroyed by card effects. he protected Diameter? What the?
I had no choice. It was overroot target.
Welcome, Labrynth. Going to be Ash Blossomed.
Yeah, sad face.
Banish. Your monsters are negated. You're locked into a singular attribute. Wipe out Diameter. Impermanence completely dead. Call by the Grave, not so good. Did we Cosmic Cyclone early in this duel? Or someone had Cosmic Cyclone. I think that was another duel we were watching. Dogmatica punish the circular, sending the Entis. Entis popping another card in the field. That is way too much for Mathmech to deal with.
Remember, I went second.
Mathmech went first.
Yes.
Still lost.
Still lost.
Nuts.
Those filthy cards.
But as we were talking earlier,
man.
It's the Floodgates. It's the Floodgates. You know what they could do?
Shout out to the people that are hyped for me, or they're hyped for Lab. Let's go.
All the monsters say that something about
based.
You can't play continuous traps. What's a good way to restrict you from continuous traps? The main strategy on the monsters have to be something like Super Heavy Samurai, where they say they don't work if there's any spell trap cards in the graveyard. Maybe a really powerful trap deck type where if you have a continuous trap on the field or in the graveyard, it does not work.
Okay. I mean, like, until that's an actual card, I'm not gonna worry about it. I know I don't like floodgating either, but what better options do I have going second that help me win more guaranteed?
Floodgates give these decks a chance to survive. My argument was that they don't make the decks good enough because floodgates exist to give them that artificial power boost. If floodgates don't exist, or they build a deck type where it can't use floodgates, then they could just make the deck type good.
This is such a tinfoil take. Tinfoil hat take, bro. Okay, sure.
Let's turn one comboed up.
Interesting. Oh, that's funny. I think, do I beat this guy twice going second?
Floodgates control.
I think so.
I like controlling through interacting. You make a play, I counter it. You do a summon, I stop it. All right. Floowandereeze is a pretty good control deck type. Not really using floodgates now. Let's go. All right. Trap negates, Omni negates, send from the hand and field. Good luck. Duality not being negated by Ash. He's holding on to
Yeah,
the
no,
Ash.
that's good. You should be holding on to the Ash.
Ariana's now going to be that monster that will be sent from the field to the graveyard, but it's, you know, +1ing a card that we could have stopped with the Ash. Going, oh, you're protecting Linger Rebo? Is this worth it? Wow. That duality screwed him. Had he not dualitied...
Wait, huh?
Graveyard, but it's, you know, +1ing a card that we could have stopped with the Ash. Going, oh, you're protecting Linger Rebo? Is this worth it? Wow. That duality screwed him.
Huh?
Is this worth it?
I don't think duality screwed me here. I don't know how it did, or maybe I'm missing something.
That duality screwed him. Had he not dualitied, he would not have Ariana forcing out an early Laplation. Well, damn.
Well, like, I don't see, like, is that like a bad thing or something? I like don't understand. Like, I almost see that as a good thing because, okay, like, if I like if I force, because like I guess I forced it out because like I try to beat over the Lingaribo because I want to not have my traps get countered, but like then he only can get rid of Ariana and then one thing in my hand, and the one thing that he sniped was Lord of the Heavenly Prison, so all my other traps are like, you know, gone, or not gone. All my trap, I keep all my traps, but it's like if I don't know, like I think I kind of like not dualitying just doesn't make sense to me. Because then I would have set like 3-4 traps or so, and then he would have used it and he would have ripped one of the traps and then one of the cards in my hand. So me losing an Ariana I still think is fine. Like if anything, that was still good, because like I'm okay with losing an Ariana. I don't mind. So I don't see why that like screwed me or anything like that.
Set 5. Set 5. Okay. Early compulse on Lingaribo so it could not negate a trap. Goes in match, locking you into a singular attribute. Skill drain, negating the Heat Soul. And that's it. Floodgates win. All right.
Floodgates do win, yeah.
Let's bring out the Floodgate music.
What's the Floodgate music?
Let's go.
Is this the joke?
Negated.
This is the joke?
Can't even make our access code talker. Sending the Heat Soul. Summoning a Labrynth from the deck.
The joke is that there is no Floodgate music. You get the silent treatment.
Negating the summon, though. All right. Make an access code talker if more
oh yeah, then he gets imperm to stop the goes, and it's like, okay.
I mean, you know, it's not that good for Redman. He does have the Welcome Labrynth, which will be activatable after he activates the Compulse, though. Spin back, Welcome Labrynth, reset. Not activatable this turn, but that's okay. Solemn Strike, Welcome Labrynth into the Max C. The lovely Labrynth is not going to be activatable. Well, you know, it will be negated, that is. Cannot reset a trap from the graveyard. Solemn Strike, negate a monster effect or the effect of the summon. Or, no, yeah, Solemn Strike, negate summon or monster effect.
Oh yeah, because Skill Drain doesn't allow Imperm to do anything.
Big enough to take out the Sigma. 2,900 to the face.
Some dude named Skill Drain is like, I guess I'm not wanted here.
We love Floodgates. 2-0.
Oh, that's so funny, dude. That was great.
Top 16. Let's go.
Labs puke face? Oh,
Turn
damn.
0, that is. Turn 0. Imperm negating the Ariana from searching for a Labrynth card. I think tier limit, if they preemptively hit tier limit before they are released, that'll be the first time in Master Duel where an archetype card was hit before its release. They hit the Water Enchantress before release, but, you know, Adventure is an engine, not a main deck type. Welcome, Labrynth. Attention to someone from the deck going to be negated by the Ash. We will still be triggering the Lord of Heavenly Prison to come forth and summon.
Nope.
Zoo,
nope.
I mean, anything that existed before January doesn't count.
No, I'm holding on to that motherfucker.
New card types released in a Master Duel. No Lord of Heavenly Prison summon. Okay. He's being held down by the Pankratops. Pankratops plays around skill drain, so that's scary. Torrential Tribute. Pankratops jumping off the field, popping.
Nope. Nope. Can't pop it. Can't pop it because of Lord.
What?
Can't pop it because of Lord.
Negated or something?
No, can't pop it.
Okay.
Oh, he doesn't know.
Protects the face sounds anyway. Okay, there we go.
Okay, now he figured it out. Okay.
Lord of Heavenly Prison protecting. So it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Reveal all set cards are protected. Activate the Welcome Labrynth. Max C to the Welcome Labrynth. Come forth and summon.
Come forth and summon.
Labrynth will recycle a normal trap from the graveyard. Let's get recycling. Target normal trap. Reset it. MP2 will be doing it. Come to me. Torrential Tribute. Impermanence negating the lovely Labrynth. Okay. Got Solemn, Skill Drain, Compulse. Even without the Skill Drain, we're putting in such good work. Not able to Harpy Feather Duster due to the Lord of Heavenly Prison. Allowed him to go into Trident. Now we're going to have to flip up the Skill Drain. Why not chain pop the lovely Labrynth, though? The Lord protects the sets.
I didn't want to Skill Drain. I want to, like, Skill Drain last.
Should have activated. Can't chain to because lovely Labrynth. Holy moly. Your opponent cannot chain to normal traps. So what you could have done is with
so
the
Trident just goes bye-bye.
With the toggle on.
Bye-bye.
On the summon of Trident, detach, pop the lovely Labrynth. You got to do it like that. So I will have to say that is a misplay. Welcome Labrynth being triggered. Also lovely Labrynth being triggered to pop a card in the hand.
He can't chain. He can't chain it.
And that's it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. Did I toggle for that? I think I did.
Can't chain to traps. What the actual hail? Never even flipped up the skill drain.
Didn't need to. Didn't need to. Had no reason to. Had no reason to use those skill drain yet.
XOL, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Connect your Discord and Twitch if you want to be hopping into these weekly tournaments. Top 8 is going to be invited to the $1,000 tournament, which I am already announcing. It's going to be.
God, I love that having lovely on field and then compulsing their boss monster that could, under normal conditions, be able to chain to it, but like because lovely's on the field, it's like nope, bye bye.
So we're having a discussion with all of you on what we should do at $10,000. Last time we had $10,000. We gave $3,000 to a paper player tournament, which, you know, it was like a bucket list thing.
Oh, yeah, and then they had Duster.
But it was a fun thing to at least do once. Compulse getting a massive Harpy Feather Duster, wiping out the back row. Whoop!
Bye-bye, Floodgate.
Everything banished, by the way. Could not recycle it. Fat Duster. Borbo attacking directly, making it so we can now make a Fat Zeus. We are stacking up the Zoodiacs. Get ready.
He really did open Duster twice. That's kind of crazy.
With 4 material, double field, non-targeting, send, wipe. Ariana on summons, searching for a welcome Labrynth. Gonna have to bait with just set 1. End phase, send the field to the graveyard. Got Monster Reborn. We have a full field wipe again.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, it's over. Form Material Zeus is...
Searching for the Thoroughblade. Thoroughblade on summon could discard a Zoodiac to draw a Chakanite, could detach to summon a Zoodiac from the graveyard. Come forth. Thoroughblade back in the field, making Vespinato lethal damage. Vespinato, Zeus, and 1700 attack Thoroughblade. To game 3 we go. Harpy Feather Duster stealing the duel.
Yep, didn't have background protection. That's what happens.
Free Air Neos, Redman. Free Air Neos and Redman. Game 3 is underway. Duster to 2. I can agree with that.
Okay. Word.
2 Jert, Lab Chad, thank you for the 3 fish out the claws for me. Amezja, 42,000, thank you for the 19. Ashen AF, 92 at the 34 months. Harry Balls.
Harry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Benji, with the 7 months, thank you. Miss Greeter, hello, Dkayed. This morning my dog was arrested. Apparently he had unpaid barking tickets. Okay, thank you, Miss Greeter. Clyde Strife for the 9 months of fish. Having a child to me. Rooster.
He didn't have...
Stare.
Oh, he had Lightning Storm here.
Said, we have set 5 pass. Lightning Storm to wipe out the entire back row. Do we have anything to stop this Lightning Storm? Uh-oh.
It doesn't matter, though.
Uh-oh. This is not good.
It doesn't matter, though.
This is not looking good. Let's go. Imperm negate the Ariana. Full Force Virus. Damn, Ariana thick. What the? Full Force? Dark Monster with 2,000 defense or more. All 1,500 or less defense get destroyed. Pankratops, you're done.
Bye.
Thoroughblade, you're gone. Damn. Normally the virus cards require a level 5 or higher Dark Monster just for its stats. Holding onto the Lightning Storm. He's holding it. Hold it. Hold it. What if he draws into an out? He did not. He did not. Okay. Set pass. If he draws into a monster, it's done. Thick Ash, not small enough to die to the Full Force Virus. Trap Trick in the end phase. I don't have leaks for Duel Links today. I have just leaks for Master Duel. Gia will let me know when we have more leaks on Duel Links. We now have Solemn Judgment to negate the Lightning Storm. Solemn Strike to negate the Ash Blossom. Come forth and summon from the deck. Lovely Labrynth. Lovely Lab gonna reset a...
Because there's nothing to destroy. There's nothing... I don't use the field first because there's nothing to destroy. Why would I do that?
Smashing him for 29. Main phase 2 gets set in. Resetting the Full Force Virus. Oh boy. Welcome. Theon Lyson, thank you. We'll be doing leaks.
Control.
And that is the final turn of the Full Force Virus. Lightning Storm into the Solemn Judgment. He waited with the Lightning Storm until he drew into the Solemn Judgment. Negate. Top 16, lovely Labrynth. Locking down Zoodiac with the Full Force Virus. And we got it again. We got it again. Again and again and again. If you activate a non-Labrynth trap, you could special summon the lovely Labrynth back onto the field. We could have lethaled, right?
Nah, I'm being patient.
Flip up goes in, you summon Lord, and you attack for game. Okay, lethal, but that's okay.
No rush.
Divine Dogmatica Punishment, popping the Fool. Activating the Ram when destroyed to resummon Thoroughblade onto the field, triggering the lovely Labrynth to summon a Fiend onto the field. Welcome Labrynth, resetting to be used next turn. We got Ariana on summon, gonna be able to add a Labrynth. Chaining Full Force Virus, tributing the Ariana, wiping out the Thoroughblade, and no more monsters with 1,500 defense or less. You are done.
Yep. Full Force is goated.
Right? But then they nerfed it, I think. They errated it. Back in my day, You tribute Sanguine, and then you win. You win. 2-1 victory.
And see, that wasn't even Floodgate. I didn't use Skill Drain or Gozen or anything. I had no Floodgates. I kept getting freaking got Dustered and almost got Lightning Stormed. So yeah, and I didn't even flip a single one.
Let's go. My OF is, I mean, it's already up. What are you talking about? Monk. Tribute off the Monk. Get searching for the Mo Yi. We Mo Yi in on interrupted turn 1, so we'll speed on through this. Grandmaster, block it with the draw. We are randomly drawing into Max C. Not so good against Lab. Setting up a bear into floor. Blackout's going to be very good against Labrynth. Pop 2 cards in the fields.
Mm-hmm.
And now, let's rise.
Oh yeah, he stands up for this. I didn't realize that's what he was doing. He's standing up. Ooh, that's cool.
Pada E being negated. Set 5, the best play of Labrynth. Let's go. Why am I only streaming once a week right now? So I will address this real quick. Let's go.
All right, here we go.
Torrential Tribute, wipe out the field, but before we get wiped out, we're going to black out. Do we have anything to stop the blackout? Psalm Judgment. I think we got a Psalm Judgment. Dkayed. Can't respond to that Psalm Judgment. And the Overroot could send any card in the field to the graveyard. The double Solemn Strike, both activatable, will be able to negate a monster effect. Pot of D, draw 2 to me, did not draw into any more plays. We need a monster. What is this?
Nope.
Floodgates.
Yeah, nope. That's not what I need. Nope.
The shooter gets special summoning. Is this worth Solemn Striking, though? Goes in match, locking him out of the Monk of Tenyi, not wanting him to be able to send a card with control back to the hand. Setting Mo Yi. Overroot going to be negated by the Ghost Spell. Solemn Strike, negate the Ghost Spell. So we're going to force him to set the Mo Yi and get that Vishuda in the grave. All right, let's go.
Because I really did not want to take damage.
We were able to play
because I was at such low life points.
Do we have the Dragite? Some people are still playing Dragite. Another Overroot.
Yep, nope. Got another. Got another Overroot. I'm like, man, I'm really drawing piss poor right now. Sucks.
Wait, what? A lot of them are playing it. Keck, wait. Okay, no, people got room for it. I'd never see it summoned, though. All right. If we could pull that off.
Because he has 2 face-down cards. Yeah, and then I top deck the Field Spell. I got Gozen into Terrors of the Overroot into the Field Spell. I just got nothing 3 turns in a row.
Double Light Monster. Tribute Summon Nibiru for game. Damn.
It's just really unfortunate draws. That is really funny, though. The Tribute Summon Nibiru is amazing. I just wish I drew better than that, man.
No search for a Labrynth card for you.
And then I'm like, no.
Field Spell Labrynth, nothing. But we got Skill Drain and Gozen, and we could send a card in the field. We could spin a card.
Please, I need a welcome. Damn it.
Let's go. Not too good here. Not too good. The Heavenly Dragon Circle's pretty good, though. But now that we're under Gozen, what do? No Vishuda to spin back the Gozen. Vishuda is the main way to counter it. Mo Yi, water, summon a water, synchro into water. Knowing that's going to happen, we're going to spin back the token, triggering the Servant to draw a card. We could then set that card we're drawing. Overroot's going to send the Mo Yi and set the Pot of D. Setting Pot of D? Okay.
I know, risky.
Okay. Reset Pot of D.
I wasn't gonna set imperm.
Going Earth
I don't
into Earth.
Well, I guess I don't know. Imperm maybe was
Is
decent
ready.
if I skill drain. I don't know.
Hey, Maxi dead. Play a deck that makes Maxi dead. Wiping out.
Doesn't normally like
Monk,
playing
it was bait.
lab is
That's gonna special summon
Maxi
the
only
Monk
does
back on the
like
field with
one
the
card.
Shathana, taking out the Ariana. Dogmatic Punishment could take
Only
out the
special
Monk
summon
and
like
another
once
back
in
row
the turn.
card. Now the Call of the Grave
Typically.
could stop the intake.
3 Maxi in hand. Now that's
using
funny.
Dogmatic Punishment early to take out the Pot of D that he reset. Interesting. And Cody's not rushing to flip that Pot of D back up. We want to grab Vashuda back first. We don't want to accidentally banish our Vashuda. How many cards did we banish that were good? We did lose a Vashuda on there. Goes in back to the hand. Just wait until he finds out Skill Drain is also set. We are Shaman of Tenyi. Discard a card. Summon the Mo Yi. Mo Yi reveal. Come forth and Shokan. But the Skill Drain is going to completely stop all of that. We have Blackout to deal with the Skill Drain. Gozen was only returned back to the hand, not completely dealt with. We have Dogmatica Punishment, wiping out the Shaman of Tenyi. Activate and
Yeah, you gotta get rid of the
Call
Shaman
Grave to
first.
stop the poppage. Take the 18. I want to root for Lab, but I'm not rooting for Skill Drain.
Yeah,
Got pop
that's
2, be
fair.
ready. Good wait for the other skill, the Gozen to be flipped up, then get pop in. Lord of Heavenly Prison. So I get, yep, there's no way to get the Lord out early. Lipping up that Gozen. To get the Lord of Heavenly Prison out in the field, you're going to trade the Maxi for a draw 1-for-1. Now the set cards can be popped. Lord of Heavenly Prison was only protecting sets, not face-ups. Pot E for next turn. Now under the Gozen, not much we could do, so we're going to wipe out the Gozen and the Skill Drain, follow up Emergence into a Taya. Going to be met with another Skill Drain, negating the Taya, now having to deal with a 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense Behemoth. We got Pot of E, which
Top
will
deck
be a
Lord.
free draw 2 right here. That could trigger the Lord of Heavenly Prison from the hand to summon. Are we doing it? Oh my, right? No, he did not. He did not. He did.
He did. Oh.
Double
Yeah, I'm just like, I gotta
eight
wipe
sticks
his
on the
field.
With the Terrors of the Overroot could send any card in the field to the graveyard, plus the Welcome Labyrinth.
Yeah, and then I had a welcome and tears too, so it's like this duel is just over at this
Big
point.
beat down. This reminds me of back in my day. The Skill Drain deck was all about Barbaros. No hand traps, but if we resolve that full force virus,
It doesn't do much.
1,500 or less defense, that should mess up Sword Soul. Really? No? I mean, Mo Yi, 1,800 defense. What is the full force virus going to do? Doesn't hit Mo Yi, hits
Nope.
Ecclesia,
Yep.
hits the not you, hits the Adhara. The Taya gets hit. Taya, the full
Like
force
the only
virus,
good
not
hit
that
is
good against
Taya.
Sword Soul. Let's go. We got Protos to lock him out of dark, not being able to summon the lovely Labyrinth. If we were able to summon the Protos, which we are not. Locking us out of special summoning for the entire turn. Ash is going to negate. Now, Duality is quite different than other cards. Some cards, their restriction is tied to the effect. Pot of Duality, even if negated, you still can't special summon. Goes in match. We're going to lock him into an attribute. Attempting to Baron to floor. Solemn Strike is going to negate the Baron to floor. Spell speed 3. No chain to you. Get send in. Well, you don't have to send anything because we're going to destroy you. You're locked into light whether you like it or not. Easy choice. Compulse. Dealing with that sword master.
I guess they are right. You know what? That was the misplay. You're right. I remember seeing someone say like, wait, why did he compulse away Shishao when he was locked into lights? And I'm like, wait, you're right. Why did I do that? Now I gave him free reign to summon basically whatever the hell he wanted. He even had Protoss in hand too, so I would have really kicked myself if he got Protoss out, but he's like, nah, I'm gonna get out Drageye, and it's just like, dang it. So I probably should have just taken the 28. Yeah. That's definitely one of the few times where I should have just left a monster on the field and taken damage. Because being locked into lights means that he can't. I think he can't even do Adhara, because Adhara requires you to have no effect monsters on the field. So Shishao is an effect monster, so wouldn't even be able to get Adhara out at all. So he'd just be stuck on Shishao, and it's like the duality could have probably gotten me something. I could have probably like delayed until I had a way to like get rid of Moyi in case a Moyi comes down. So I should have saved Compulse at least for the next turn. I definitely could have afforded to just take 2800, I guess. I don't know, but like, yeah, because then it's like, wait, now you can just get Dragout out now instead of later. So the only thing Compulse did was prevent me from taking 2800. And so I think that was like the big thing that lost me the duel for sure. Because like I definitely played pretty bad here.
Dragite is here. Now, Dragite is a spell and trap card negate. As long as we have Moyi in the graveyard, if we reveal a Nibiru, we could spin a card in the field back to the hand. Not that this is a big deal. It's just like, you know, we're doing it to do it, okay? Focus, focus.
Yeah, and then I top deck a Lovely too, which really didn't help either.
Going to get negated. Dragite negates the activation, so you did not technically activate the duality. You could still special summon here. Not that we have any special summon plays. Under Gozen, ripping into a Moyi. If we could spin back the Gozen, he's in big trouble. No Nibiru. Please reveal Nibiru. Should he have summoned Moyi for more damage? 1700 extra damage here.
Yeah. See, punishment would have been good.
You're thinking, why did he scoop? Well, first of all, the Dogmatic
I shouldn't have compulsed. Oh well.
Every single turn, your turn, their turn.
Yeah, someone even said you shouldn't have bounced Shishao.
Winning through a Floodgates. That's great. Let's go.
Yeah. So that's all of it. Yeah. Damn. Well, learned a couple things from even just that tournament run. I learned how to not miss timing with Torrential Tribute to wipe a board when going second, especially against something like Adamancipator, who had Colossus, Appaloosa, Baron, or not Barret. Well, yes, Baron DeFleur and Borreload Savage Dragon. Incredible, like crazy board, but it was actually outable, but I just missed timing because I didn't start the chain link with Welcome. So yeah. Well, oh well, tough crap. And then obviously this, I didn't think about how like bouncing Shishao was actually not smart, because then it gave him an opening, because he was locked into lights. Like, it's just simple as that. It's like, oh yes, goes in. That's right. Huh. I guess I got to keep that in mind. I guess there are. I almost feel like I should just take damage as much as I can. I mean, again, life points are a resource. Unless you are going to die, then like you probably should just take the damage. I mean, I guess like the only reason why I don't want to get too low is I want to make sure I can at least resolve strikes if I have them. That's why like in the previous duel, when I had 2 strikes down, I really didn't want my life points to get too low, because then I wouldn't be able to use the second one. So that's why I kind of like fired those off pretty quickly. But yeah, I don't think I had an actual good reason to compulse Shishao to try to just not take 28, because I was only at 5,300. If I took 2,800, it wouldn't have put me that low. It would have put me just shy of like a little over 2K, but I still would have had enough for I still would have had enough for what is it? I would still have the compulse for one, and I'd still have enough for a strike if I were to get one. So I had the duality, so I would have been able to duality, no problem. Duality would have revealed Lovely, and it would have revealed Lovely, it would have revealed Dogmatic Punishment, and it would have revealed a third card. And I probably would have picked maybe Punishment, maybe whatever the third card was going to be, just something that would have allowed me to like start building a board and start like putting stuff onto the field. If it was something that would have given me into a welcome, then I definitely would have picked that for certain. But I didn't. Obviously, I did not like do that. But like now that I think about it in hindsight, it's like, man, I really shouldn't have just taken the damage. I definitely didn't have enough life points to do it twice in two turns in a row. But like, yeah, I would have been able to duality. And like I said, see love, like obviously not pick Lovely, but Punishment, and then maybe something else to get into a welcome potentially. That would have helped me dramatically, because in the next turn, when he has no choice but to go to battle phase, then I would during battle phase compulse and be able to continue playing from there. So I could have won. I probably almost certainly could have won if I just didn't like Monka compulse, or not Monka, just Pepega compulse there. When I was too tunneled on just not trying to take damage. I really should just like try to absorb, because life points are a resource, and it's like, you know, I mean, I can understand not wanting your life points to go below 1500, because then you can't pay the cost of strike, and then not below 1000, because then you can't pay the cost of skill drain. But like, yeah, you learn something new. That's how you become better. Like, it was actually like, when it's not even just purely, I thought it was purely because my draw is really bad. No, I like actually misplayed. I misplayed that last game, genuinely. It's clear to me now. Well, till the next tournament I enter, or the next duels that I play in. All right, so here is the actual deck profile for the Labrynth deck that I ended up hitting Diamond 1 with and getting top 8 in the Dkayed Meta Weekly. Is this exact profile. So I'm going to just kind of go through like card by card and my reasoning behind it. So starting off, I play one Absolute King Backjack. I rarely draw into this card. It's not great. I don't recommend it, even as a one of. Typically, Backjack is played with furniture, because you want to discard a furniture and then Backjack to get like not only like search a welcome from your deck and set it, but also to have Backjack be able to like that combo can be pretty solid when going second, because then you could probably activate the trap at the end of your opponent's first turn, because Backjack allows you to excavate the top card. If it's a normal trap, it's set and it can be immediately played. So if it's like a compulse to compulse away something or force an Omni Negate, then like that'd be pretty good. That's like one of the very few situations that I can think of where you would want both Backjack and furniture in hand when going second, because that kind of makes a pretty decent going second play. But you need 2 cards in hand to allow that to happen. And if you're going to if you need 2 cards to break a board, which typically you do, then you're way, way better off with something a lot more consistent and more powerful, like playing Floodgates to help you going second. But I play one Backjack because I think Backjack's a fun card. I think it's pretty cool. If I don't have any other normal summon options, like if I don't have an Ariana in hand and I haven't used duality, or I don't have a duality, then like, yeah, I'll just normal summon Backjack and then link off with Link Karibo and use his effect and all that. And you know, getting to stack the deck is kind of nice. And then if you get into a normal trap, which there's plenty of in this deck, so I typically don't like completely miss with Backjack when I do use it. So, because that was another problem that I ran into a lot when I had 3 backjack and a bunch of furnitures and a bunch of other nonsense. Whenever I kept seeing the top 3 cards, I'd gotten no normal traps. I kept getting like too many monsters or monsters and spells and whatever. And so it's just like, okay, I don't want to do this. Like, it makes backjack less effective. But with 1 like this, you have somewhat of a higher chance of seeing a normal trap. And obviously, like, I'm not playing like Ghastly Glitch or anything like that, because that requires you have to have a fiend on the field to resolve, and you can even dodge destroying, like, people. I kept having people like dodge the destruction, so I wasn't even able to send backjack with glitch like at all. So the only like reliable way to even do anything with backjack is just to like normal summon and then link off with Link Karibo. That, because then that's just like a 1 card thing. Like you use 1 card to get that stuff to happen. And if they called by backjack to stop the like deck stacking effect, like that's kind of fine. I'd rather them use called by there than to call by a lovely if a lovely were to hit my graveyard. So yeah, that's primarily why. Another secondary reason is I have a Royal Backjack on my Switch account, and I've had that for a while. I think I mentioned that earlier in the video. That's why I play just 1 Backjack. But yeah, like a singular Backjack in a deck like this just works. I don't think this will stay, especially once Lady gets added. Maybe it will. I don't know. Like, I think it's a cool little card. Like, I definitely like it as like this neat little like small tech option that I'm not going to see very often, again, because I'm running it as a one of, but when I do see it, almost always gets me value pretty much. I think the Labrynth ratios are relatively self-explanatory. You want Ariana at 3 because you want as much searchers as possible to get welcome typically, or even sometimes the field spell, because our normal summon can be pretty solid. I only have 1 lovely because I never really felt like I needed the second one all that often, and you really just don't want to see a lovely in an opening hand anyway. And obviously with her at 2, there's a higher chance of that happening. So you just really want that to not happen at all. So yeah, if my 1 lovely gets banished, then it's like, it's not the end of the world, because I do still have Lords of the Heavenly Prison to help get big beat sticks onto the field. But like, yeah, like 1 lovely is kind of all I really needed for that. I think 3 lords is like, should just be the standard. You should just play this like at 3, like pretty much no matter what. It's really good, not just for the back row protection, but also just for its ability to set any card, any spell or trap that you can use in your next turn. Most of the time it's going to be pot cards, most of the time it's going to be extravagance, but sometimes, like, if you never got into welcome in the first place, then you can search welcome that way, or you can search like an important, like I needed to search Tears of the Overroot with Lord of the Heavenly Prison earlier in that Old Man Burn deck, because I had no other way to get Tears in my on my field. So Lord of the Heavenly Prison is just absurdly good. The only thing that playing Lord prevents you from doing is being able to play Rivalry, but I don't even like Rivalry that much anyway. It's like, I already have plenty of Floodgates in this deck already. I really don't think adding more would be good, because I definitely think there is such a thing as too much Floodgates. So yeah, but like Lord at 3 is just very self-explanatory. Almost, it should be self-explanatory. Some people can't afford 3, and 2 lords is okay, it's fine. I just personally am like, you should have that at 3. There's almost no reason to. 2 duality and 2 extrav. You can search extrav and duality with lord, so you effectively have like multiple copies of it or so. You don't want to see 2. You don't want to see 2 extrav in a single hand. You don't want to see 2 duality in a single hand, but you do want to see extrav and duality, because you can use both in a single turn, which is great. I think that's a fine ratio. I've never felt the need to make Extrav B3. Like, sure, and it doesn't even matter too, because like, are you ever gonna see the third copy? And even if you do, you will only be able to banish 3 from your extra deck anyway. Because if you do the first 2, then you know that's 12 cards banned or banished from your extra deck, and then you only have 3 left. So it's like, don't really think it's worth it to do a third extravagance. 2 field spell, because there were a couple of times when I was trying a ratio of 1 lovely and 1 field spell, and I felt like it kind of I got like stuck a bit frequently with that ratio, because there would be few too frequently times where I would have both lovely and the field spell in the graveyard. And with that happening, I can't bring, like, I can only summon Arianas with welcome, and that's not very useful. And then I have literally no way to get the lovely out of the graveyard. But if I have at least a field spell, and if the field spell gets destroyed, I can at least get another one so that I can give myself another chance to get my lovely out of the graveyard. So I think 2 is still pretty darn necessary. Torrential Tribute, I run it at 2 because I typically don't want to be destroying my entire field. I want to be removing my opponent's monsters, but not my own. There have been many times that Torrential Tribute has saved my ass in terms of like wiping the field, or like if they're setting up a board and you just torrential at the right time and then they can't continue making plays. It's really like, this is arguably one of my favorite like traps, just period. Like, this is such a good trap card, very versatile. As long as you don't miss timing with it, like, it does wonders for you. And I like, probably one of my favorite combos is just having Torrential Tribute set with Lord in hand and revealed, because then like, guaranteed, even if I wipe in my field, if I have like a lovely, or typically I don't have lovely, typically I have like an Ariana, but if I have like an Ariana, wiping her isn't so bad, because then I can just get down Lord of the Heavenly Prison right after that field wipe. So yeah, but I don't think I need it at 3. I think 2 is a good ratio, just because I don't want to see it like a ton. And now, however, compulsory is definitely something you want to see at 3. Like, it's almost never a bad card in your hand. Even if you can't trigger lab effects with it, it outs so many things. The only thing it doesn't out really is target immunity, but it outs like stuff that can't be destroyed. It's especially powerful for outing out boss monsters that have like quick effects when you have lovely on field, because they can't negate it at all. Like you saw earlier with the Dryden, I was able to just instantly out the Dryden. The Dryden couldn't do anything, and that was pretty awesome. So yeah, compulsory is kind of just like, that just needs to be at 3. Sometimes the third copy really does save your ass. So then there's Full Force Virus. This is my virus of choice instead of Eradicator Epidemic Virus, mostly because at first, earlier in the month of January, which is this month, I ran into Runic a decent amount. I definitely ran into it a lot at the end of December, but I didn't really run into it too much after like the first week or so of January. And so because I was seeing way less Runic and not that much Sky Striker, and Eradicator wasn't really doing a whole lot against most other decks, and I wasn't even running into the Labrynth Mirror all that often. And even when I ran into Dynamorphia, unless I went first and resolved Eradicator knowing that they were Dynamorphia, I typically wasn't winning anyway. So Eradicator felt like it wasn't really doing a whole lot, but I was interested in Full Force Virus because you can use Ariana specifically to be able to activate it. So it's a lot easier to activate than Eradicator, because you need Lovely or Lord in order to use Eradicator, but you can have just normal summon Ariana and you can, full force virus. So there'd be like one of the first things I would do in most duels and pretty much every duel that I do is like if I open with an Ariana and a full force, I normal the Ariana, don't care if she even gets negated, because then like during the opponent's draw phase, I just turn toggle on and then activate full force, tributing my Ariana, and I'm fine if she stays in the graveyard. She doesn't need to stay on the field because I have more in deck anyway, and it's really not that big of a deal. I don't need it's not like Lovely where like I really would want Lovely to come back, and I would really want the field spell to be on the field. But in this case, no, I don't really think I care that much about it. And I can't tell you how many games I've just won straight up because I just resolve full force before they can even do anything, and it just destroys their entire hand. It destroys Mathmech entirely. It destroys Zoodiac. It destroys most of Adamancipator. Does not destroy Researcher. It only really kind of doesn't do much against Swordsoul, as you saw earlier. The only thing it hits is Taya. That's a starter. That's kind of it. Does not hit Moyi, obviously. But Mathmech being one of the most popular decks, it like just absolutely annihilates all of Mathmech. So anytime I ever resolved that card against Mathmech, it was just like GG. Just you weren't winning that, like straight up. Which is also really amusing because when I played against the Mathmech player in the tournament, I went second against them twice, and I won both games. And I don't even think I floodgated them that hard. I think maybe I had Gozen. I don't think I even had Skill Drain. And I still ended up winning, which I thought was pretty incredible. But I didn't have full force against the Mathmech player, and I still beat them. But full force, and also full force completely destroys Floowandereeze as well. All the birds are 1500 or less defense. Even the big birds are 1500 and less defense. Like it actually destroys literally everything. So it craps all over Flu as well. And I would see a good bit of Floowandereeze. So yeah, I mean, full force just hits way more stuff in this current meta. Obviously, when like a new ban list hits, that might change what decks people play, and maybe I don't see as much, but I kind of doubt it. I mean, I don't think the current hits on the upcoming ban list are going to change a lot, but we'll see as time goes on and as I probably play more ladder. But like for this particular meta, full force virus absolutely carried. It carried me to Diamond 1 in a lot of games, and it definitely helped me tremendously in the tournament. So I definitely, if there's a VIP card in this entire deck, I definitely would give it to full force, 100%. Trap Trick's kind of self-explanatory. It's just like arguably my favorite trap card for a number of reasons. Because I also think the artwork looks really cool on it too, but also just because of its versatility, being able to search any of your normal traps by banishing one. And banishing one's not even that bad, because if you get Lovely on the field, you can just keep recycling that one trap over and over and over again. It's just like, yeah, it's pretty great. Trap Tricks like should be a staple in control-based trap decks, especially ones that play a lot of normal traps like Labrynth. So definitely play Trap Trick. 2 punishment, you really only need 2. I have a whole bunch of punishment targets in my extra deck, obviously because some of them might get banished because of Extrav, but yeah, like, punishment's pretty good. Punishment's really, really like solid card that's helped break boards, and also trigger lab effects, like really, really good for that, of course. Obviously 3 welcome. I don't think I need to really explain this one. 3 tears of the Overroot. Another like MVP VIP card of sorts, whatever you want to call it. I would put it up there kind of alongside full force, because it's really helped me out in a lot of scenarios where I've needed to out something. Especially like really troublesome back row where I don't have like a way to destroy back row traditionally, but Terrors is able to out it anyway and then replace it with just like a useless card from the graveyard. Like, and Terrors has also been great with just like let's say they do branded in red and they target an Albaz in their graveyard. Well, I can just target the Albaz with terrors, and then their branded in red completely fizzles. You know, like that's another really nice use of terrors of the Overroot. It's definitely expensive being a UR, and running it at 3 gets pricey, but I mean, if you can afford it, I think Terrors of the Overroot is actually like incredibly good. It is a labyrinth trap card, so it allows you to special summon a fiend using the field spell. It removes something from the field. It can be a monster, so if you do it with a monster, then you trigger lab effects. Like, it does pretty much everything that you want it to do. The only like stipulation is that it's once per turn. That's like kind of the only thing. It's really good. I recommend people play it. It's not, it does, I don't think it's a staple, but I think it's a very powerful card. And then for counter traps, I'm playing 2 Judgment and 2 Strike. There have been a lot of times where I didn't have enough back row protection, or like I have 3 lords, but sometimes you don't see a lord in your opening hand and you want to stop a duster or a lightning storm. So, you know, I would put the Judgment in as like protection in case that happens. And sometimes Judgment would really help in other situations where like they were going to play a spell or a trap that was going to help them win the game, or have them extend majorly, or something that gives them a ton of advantage, and I can just Solemn Judgment instead. Like, I wasn't even against Solemn Judgmenting Branded Fusions, because Branded Fusion is just a ridiculously powerful card, so I would sometimes even Judgment that. But yeah, and in that Swordsoul game where they used Red Reboot, I could Judgment the Red Reboot, and that was huge. Like, Judgment, almost every single time I've had Judgment down, it has almost always gotten me immense value because of a important spell or trap that I was able to stop with it, whether it was protecting my back row or not. Like, Judgment has completely saved my ass like so many times. And then Strike's kind of another guarantee. Probably it's at bare minimum should be played at 2, but really it probably should be played at 3, just because it's a board breaker. It stops Ash. It stops a whole lot of like monster, like any monster effect that destroys your field or negates or anything. Like, you want Strike to just say no to all that. Like Strikes, it really should just be a staple straight up in control decks. Okay, and then lastly, the Floodgates. I only play 5 because I don't think you really need to run more than that. But for Master Duel specifically, Skill Drain 2, Skill Drain just literally wins you games completely on its own. Sure, your Labrynth cards don't get to resolve their effects, but most of the time that's okay, because you can still pretty easily get out Lovely, which is a 2900 beat stick. Ariana, obviously, I mean, you can set her in defense and she doesn't do a whole lot, but like at least she has 2100 defense. And then you have Lords of the Heavenly Prison, which is 3k beat stick, and the effect never resolves on field, so you don't have to ever worry about that. So like, Skill Drain, not super, like you want to try to flip Skill Drain as late as you can, or like if you have like a Labrynth monster effect that you want to resolve on field, then maybe you hold off on skill draining until after you do that. But sometimes they summon something that like you just have to skill drain off the bat, and like you just have to deal with that, and that's fine. But skill drain legitimately is like probably the best floodgate for not only going first but also for going second, because it just stops like the billion omni negate board that some people can create, and it's so important for going second. If Labrynth ever has an in archetype spell, or maybe not spell, but like trap or something where it's just as powerful going second as it is going first, and basically replaces skill drain, then like I have a good reason to stop playing skill drain entirely. But until that happens, I think skill drain is probably going to be a staple, like almost certainly going to be a staple. Played only one Imperial Iron Wall because the cool thing about searching Imperial Iron Wall with Lord of the Heavenly Prison is as long as you activate it on your own turn, it doesn't banish itself, so it just stays up on the field. So you can, it's like it's the only floodgate that you can just search straight up with Lord and it won't banish itself, obviously, because of its own effect. And then if you already have Iron Wall and you have a Lord as well, then you can use Lord to set a floodgate. You can set skill drain and the skill drain won't go away, which I think is absurdly broken and probably not fair or anything like that, but like that wins you games. That straight up wins you games. Plus there's a lot of really like top decks that need to banish. Like this stops Floowandereeze. This actually does stop Runic. So like if this deck were to go against Runic, the only real way to beat it would be through Imperial Iron Wall. So if the Imperial Iron Wall gets outed, I'm probably screwed against Runic. I would have Terrors of the Overroot at least to get rid of the field spell, but I don't have Eradicator, so yeah, my chances of winning against Runic can be pretty not so great. But if I have a way to get into Imperial Iron Wall, then that's a win condition right there. But again, I would rarely ever run into Runic. I would run into Runic like once out of every 20 duels, if even that, sometimes even less frequent than that. Runic was just being played way, way less after the Mathmech stuff. After Circular released, so I hardly ever ran into Runic. I almost never had any issue running into Runic ever. So, but Imperial Iron Wall still helped because like I don't really need to banish all that much. The only times I really need to banish is for Extravagance and for Trap Trick, and that's like it. That's the only other time. Every other time it's like, no, I don't need to banish, and then it screws over Floowandereeze, it screws over Runic, it screws over Swordsoul Tenyi even. They need to banish stuff to really like make extensions. It really shuts down Despia because a lot of their fusions require them to banish as cost. Preventing banishing from happening like is immensely good. But I definitely got really annoyed seeing multiple Iron Walls in hand or drawing into an Iron Wall when I already had one up or something. Like I got really annoyed with that, but I'm like, oh wait, I'm down to play just one, especially if like Lord searches it and it's like cool. So it's like, oh, I have a Lord in hand. I know they're playing a deck that needs to banish to like do most of their stuff. So I'll just like search for Iron Wall, and that probably will like just win me the game just in that alone. But yeah, and then the last floodgate is Gozen. Gozen's another floodgate that like it actually doesn't hurt you at all, because I have nothing but dark monsters that will ever be on the field, so it literally will never hurt me at all. And it hits a lot of the most popular decks. Like it hits Swordsoul, it hits Mathmech, it hits Floowandereeze, it hits a lot of things, so it's definitely recommended to play. Goes in, especially in this particular meta. Like I just think, it's your floodgates and like your virus cards and some other like normal trap options are going to be meta dependent. But in this meta, it's like, yeah, no, Gozen definitely helped a lot better. So there might be a meta where Rivalry will be more important than Gozen, but I think this time around it was definitely Gozen that was the better one here. But I think as far as ratios go, I think 5 floodgates total is like, that's solid enough. I think that helps you see the floodgates somewhat frequently, without it like being too overwhelming. And 9 cards that are not normal traps is like, that's okay. I think that's fine. I have there have been a few times, yes, where I drew port, like I had enough floodgates on the field, but I didn't have enough gas to get. I didn't have any way to get into Welcome. I didn't have any Lords. I didn't get any Arianas. You can get unlucky sometimes, and then you're just like praying that you top deck well. But that doesn't happen that often. It happens once every 10 or so duels, maybe. Then sometimes you top deck well and it's fine. But then sometimes you can lose from not being able to top deck well enough to get gas to actually like start stuff. but it just wasn't happening often enough for me to think it was a problem. While in earlier builds, when I was playing way more Floodgates, and I had like, I don't know, I had something like in total between counter traps and Floodgates, I had like almost 15 or something, and that was bricking me pretty bad. So I didn't want to do those ratios. So I think this was a good balance of stuff that I did want to see in the hand without being too many copies of it. Like I almost will never see 3 of any of these 9 cards in the opening hand. Any 2 of these in the opening hand is pretty darn good, but 3 is like, and obviously I don't want to see multiple skill drain. So I think even like in TCG, I don't think I'd even play Floodgates at 3 because I wouldn't want to see multiple of these in hand. It doesn't do anything for me. It's a brick. It's a useless card if I see a second skill drain in hand when I already have one, you know? So yeah, I think 2 might even just be like a good ratio just in general. And then extra deck, I have 3 Antithesis for punishment targets. I do Fossil Warrior Skull Knight and 2 Fossil Machine Skull Wagons as like tech options to so like this immediately will destroy another card. This will destroy another monster later if you banish from your graveyard. And then this will allow you to destroy a back row later. But it has only 1700 attacks, so you only have so many things that you can hit with it. Wind Pegasus is really good. I probably should use Wind Pegasus a bit more often than I think I should, because it outs like some boss monsters like phenomenally well, because you get to shuffle it back into the deck. Like Protoss, it's the hardest counter against Protoss 100%, which I thought is great. But like, I probably should do, I typically almost like 90+% of the time I'm going to do Entis off of punishment, but there are very niche situations where Wind Pegasus is like, oh, this is better. Maybe not very niche, but like definitely not as frequently as Entis. But I still play 3 because sometimes you still want to see a Wind Pegasus, and when you only have 3 left in the extra deck. I don't actually go into Baguska that often, though I probably should, especially if I kind of need to stall. It acts like a skill drain in a way and it's kind of useful in that way, but like, I don't really get 2 Arianas on field that often. Like I rarely ever go into Baguska ever, but it can be nice in a pinch. But like it's been pretty darn rare for that to happen. And I've almost never gone into Gustav or Lieb ever, because like I need to have 2 Lords of the Heavenly Prison on the field for that to work, which that doesn't happen very often in the first place. And almost every time that I did get 2 Lords of the Heavenly Prison on the field, I had skill drain up anyway, so I couldn't even detach to burn and then go into Lieb to make this a 6k. Like, it just hasn't happened. Or one of the 2 cards are already banished from Extrav, so I almost never make these, ever. The Link Karibo for linking off Backjack. Don't need to say much more about that. I almost never go into Phoenix or Dark. Have almost never had a reason to. But they're just, I guess they're kind of there for extravagance fodder. I've contemplated, like, there's maybe been a line with Dark sometime where I'm like, oh, I could like steal something and like maybe kill them, but like I typically won't use Dark. I have somewhat thought about Beat Cop. I've kind of thought about Beat Cop because you can use 2 dark monsters, and then you contribute Beat Cop herself, or something else on your field to put something else that like you want to like not get destroyed, which would probably be like lovely. But this would require, like, I'd have to have like 2 Arianas on field. I would tribute Beat Cop, and I'd put the counter on like lovely, and that would probably be good. Or I could put it on the field spell, and that'd be pretty decent. I don't know. I'm like kind of willing to give this a try. I might even like craft it or something like that, but like that's like the only other potential extra deck thing I could think of using, because then that this gives a little bit protection. I can even put this on a floodgate. Funnily enough, I can put it on a floodgate to help prevent it from being destroyed. So that'd be like really cool. But again, I think it's kind of niche, similar to like Baguska. Though I think Baguska would be less niche than this would, but I feel like this could come in clutch in some situations. I'm not so sure, but I'd have to see. But yeah, that's it. That is that's the whole profile. And I'll see how this changes as new cards come in, as more ban lists come around, and all that. And I'll probably make a new replays video or deck profile or whatever if my deck changes significantly or whatever, or maybe enough time passes, then I'll probably do another one of these. But I don't plan on doing another one for a while. So yeah, this was it. This was really fun. This deck is really fun to play. And obviously with Floodgates, its viability going second is tremendously better. I look forward to playing more. I can't wait for Lady to be added to Master Duel. I don't know when. I hope sometime in the next few months. Who knows? We'll see. That will definitely change deck building for this deck by a lot. And I probably am going to get into TCG sometime in the coming months or so. I'll see about it. I mean, definitely Photon Hypernova's got Big Welcome Labrynth, and that's going to definitely like change things for a bit. So yeah, I think TCG is kind of on the horizon for me, but I think that's going to be it for me in Master Duel for a bit. I'm going to be entering, or try to enter, the Master Series that MBT is hosting. Try to enter a couple more of that. I think I might be done with Dkayd's weeklies. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, like I think as far as like grinding Master Duel to hit Diamond 1, I might be done with that for the year potentially, but who knows? But it's been quite fulfilling to even just do that, like, you know, even this time around. Like I've had a lot of fun. I think Lab is my deck. I think Lab is the deck that I'm going to be maining and see pretty solid competitive success with, and I want to keep playing it because I think it's really fun. Go Control. Control is great. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you learned a thing or two about playing Lab from this whole lengthy as hell video explaining it all. Again, shout outs to Matt for helping me like with deck building, and his videos have been just really informative about like proper plays and good ratios and all that. So like mega shout outs to him. I love his content. I always like seeing stuff from him, whether it's Master Duel or TCG. Like he's really on it right now. Like he's going places. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'll see y'all around.